Since my first album back in 1971, I primarily did music as a hobby. I taught myself songs I learned off the radio, everything from Joan Baez songs.
Hollywood don't always reward the quiet ones. But Bonnie Raitt, she didn't need noise to earn respect. No scandals, no headlines for drama, just pure talent. A slide guitar in one hand, fire in her chest, and a voice that could break your heart in 3 notes. But today, she broke her silence. After decades of playing it cool, Bonnie just called out 6 names. 6 artists who, in her words, didn't just disappoint her. They left scars. This ain't gossip, it's testimony. It's the truth behind the velvet curtain. And trust, when Bonnie speaks, you listen. First up, Eric Clapton. Yeah, that Clapton. At one point, Bonnie looked up to him. Back in the 70s, she saw a kindred spirit, someone raw, blues-soaked, unfiltered. But when they crossed paths, the vibe shifted, fast. Behind the charm and guitar licks, he made her feel small, talked over her in interviews, ignored her on stage. Once told a friend, she's too polite to be real blues. Like pain needed to be loud or male to be authentic. That cut deep. He didn't just disregard her, he dismissed her. Not with yelling, but with silence that said, "You're not one of us." They haven't spoken in over 20 years, and she's cool with that. Some bridges, better left burned. Then came John Mayer. When he showed up on the blues scene, Bonnie was intrigued. The kid had chops, phrasing, style, even promise. So she reached out, gave him a shot, invited him to jam on stage. But instead of building a moment together, he took over, ignored her cues, soloed like he was headlining Madison Square Garden. No, thank you, no eye contact. Next day, told Rolling Stone the set dragged. That's not just rude, that's betrayal. Bonnie ain't bitter, she's clear. Mayer wasn't a teammate, he was a tourist. And tourists don't get second invites. Now here's where it stings even more. Don Henley. Bonnie respected the guy. The Eagles? Harmonies tight, lyrics sharp. But the man behind the mic? Different energy. They did a few benefit gigs together in the 80s. Bonnie came to collaborate, Henley came to command. Mid-rehearsal, he cut her off, smirked when she offered input, then leaned in and said, "You should smile more on stage, it softens you." Let that sink in. He'd never say that to Springsteen, or Petty. But to her, a woman with fire and finesse, he tried to dim it. That moment lived in her chest like a splinter. Not loud, but sharp. And unforgettable. Next up, Ted Nugent. Yeah. In the early 90s, Bonnie joined a charity tour. She signed on thinking it was about music, unity, something bigger. Instead, she walked into a stage soaked in politics and personal crusades. Nugent hijacked every set with rants about guns, government, and real America. Bonnie stood backstage, realizing her values were being flipped, used to sell a message she didn't believe in. After 2 shows, she walked. Quiet, firm, done. And of course, Nugent fired back in the press, called her too sensitive, said she couldn't handle the real world. But Bonnie, she wasn't backing down. She wasn't about to let loud drown out what's right. She played clean, walked away with her head high. Then there's Van Morrison. She loved his early stuff. That voice, like dusk, warm, golden, moody. But the man, ice cold. They were booked together in London. Bonnie came with respect. Morrison didn't say a word. No hello, no sound check together. Passed notes through crew like she didn't exist. And then he told her manager she was fine for the opening act. That's the kind of cut that doesn't bleed right away. But it stays. Bonnie didn't snap back. She walked on stage that night and played like the roof was on fire. The crowd stood, screamed. And when Van followed, the spark was gone. Bonnie had already taken the room. And the last name, the one that left a taste she still can't wash out, Kid Rock, Summer Festival 2005. Bonnie already knew what kind of energy he brought. She requested a separate dressing area, not for ego, but self-respect. She'd seen how he treated staff, how he treated women. Loud, brash. No respect in the room, just ego and cheap beer breath. Bonnie packed up and bounced. Hasn't shared a stage with him since. She later said that show was one of the most disheartening moments of her career. Not because of him, but because of what he represented. A world that gives power to noise and forgets the grace of real music. Here's what you need to know. Bonnie Raitt never played dirty. She never called out names for headlines. But these weren't just awkward moments. These were battle scars, hidden beneath the spotlight, behind the Grammys and the smiles. She was told to smile more, told to play nice, told to stay in her lane. But Bonnie carved her own damn road. And today, she's not being polite about it anymore. Not because she's angry, because it's time. This ain't revenge, it's reckoning. And in a world full of noise, Bonnie Raitt just reminded everyone what a real voice sounds like.